I've been hyping up this show for well over 2 months. I think it's about time I review it.
Miraculous, simply the best, up to the test when things go.
Hey you guys, what's up? It's the Anime Blaze coming to you with another video, that is right. Now again, like I said, I know it's been over 2 months since I've actually done anything on this channel, but today I'm coming to you guys with a review of something that I've been hyping up for like forever, and I really think you guys would enjoy it, because I enjoy it, you know? So today we're going to be going on and talking about a cartoon show called The Miraculous Ladybug. Now, it looks like an anime, and it somewhat feels like an anime, but it's not anime. I'm going to get to you guys on that. I'm going to cover a lot of different stuff, and hopefully you guys can stick around and tell me what you guys think about it. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, you know, tell me what you guys think. So, a little bit of background info on The Miraculous Ladybug. The show isn't actually an anime, it's a cartoon, and it's a collaboration between a few different companies, animation companies and stuff, throughout 3 different countries. They got Toei Animation out in Japan, giving it that anime flair, that anime-ish kind of vibe to it, and manga. You got a few companies out in France dealing with a lot of different stuff there, you know, it being the origin of the cartoon itself, and as well as dealing with animation. Then you have a company out in South Korea dealing with CG animation, and they all come together to really put the show together into what you see on the screen right now. And a lot of people seem to enjoy it. Also, I don't know if you guys, if you've known about it, if you haven't known about it, well, I'm going to tell you about it. There have been like 2D trailers and different things of that nature that have been going on online, and I'm not exactly sure if it was leaked footage or exactly what it was, but it was something that was made by Toei to give you kind of an example of what Miraculous Ladybug was supposed to be. Originally, it was supposed to be your regular average kind of anime show that you could watch, but the creator of the show, Thomas Astruc, and a lot of other people decided to go with more of a 3D, CG approach, because I mean, a lot of people, as a lot of you guys know who watch anime just like me, as popular as anime is, it's still kind of a niche community, a niche group of people that still kind of watch it. Whereas if you were to go for a more different approach, such as CG, where a lot of people are more, familiar with that, you have a bigger audience, that sort of thing. And in a lot of ways, from what I can tell, it's actually worked very, very well. Yeah, so that's that. Now, let's talk about the story. What is The Miraculous Ladybug about? The Miraculous Ladybug is about a girl named Marinette who lives in France. I would say Paris, France, but I don't know exactly. But a girl named Marinette who lives in France, who is your regular average teenage girl, who, has her own insecurities, has her own troubles, different things of that nature. But she's also very, as much as she might be naive and a bit clumsy, she's also very kind, compassionate, and caring. Well, one day she comes across a strange item that looks like a pair of earrings, and as it turns out, it's actually home to a creature called a Kwami, and the name of the creature is Tiki, that gives her these abilities to become the Miraculous Ladybug. That has been apparently going on throughout centuries, where people have been able to turn into the Miraculous Ladybug and really just help people out. And in a lot of different ways, you can see how it helps her as a character. Now, you also have the character Adrian, who I guess you could say is her love interest. Adrian is the boy at school who is popular, always shows up in magazines, very, very talented, knows different languages, those sorts of things. And, everybody has a crush on him. He doesn't, but however, he's clueless that Marinette has a crush on him. And to make matters worse, he also has the ability, he came across a ring that had a Kwami in it that allowed him to turn into the superhero Cat Noir. And in a lot of different ways, it's pretty interesting to see that give him his flair as a character. And ironically enough, he has a crush on Ladybug, but they don't know each other's secret identities. Even though it might seem kind of obvious to us, it's not obvious to them, And that's 2 characters that really bring the show together as far as like the action portion of the show, what really goes on as far as, the protagonists, the heroes. However, we also have a main villain of the show so far, named Hawkmoth, as far as, well, the English version goes. Hawkmoth seems to have the ability to akumatize butterflies, or basically fill butterflies with evil energy, is I guess the best way to describe it, and send them out into, the town and the city, and they feed off of people's raw emotions, whether it's anger, hatred, sadness, frustration, anything that he can really get to. That's what he tries to do. And apparently, these miraculous, I'm being, I guess ambiguous here, so you guys can go watch the show for yourself. Apparently there's something about these miraculouses that both Marinette and Adrian have that he very much wants, because he sends out these butterflies and they turn people evil, turn them basically into a proxy of sorts, and gives them the ability to fight for him. And he wants these miraculouses for some reason. We're not exactly sure what, but it has to be for some kind of sinister purpose, obviously because he's the villain. So that's the plot. Now let's talk about some of the things that I really like about the show. The first thing that I guess a lot of people noticed, and I'm not an animation buff, I don't animate by any means, I'm not, I don't have like Flash animation. I don't really know too much about animation except for a few different styles of animation and what looks good to the average person, because let's face it, I'm an average Joe. Now, let me tell you guys that when I first saw the show, the first thing I thought about was, yo, this CG looks clean. This has to be the cleanest CG I've ever seen. And it wasn't just, me saying that from an average view. I went online and saw what other people thought. A lot of people in the animation community actually think, the CG in the show is like really good. So that's gotta mean something, that's gotta mean something. And it really kind of stands out from a lot of shows that I've grown up watching as a kid, like Jimmy Neutron and some other ones like Tech and the Power of Juju, and I guess Fanboy and Chum Chum to an extent. Because from what I've seen, what a lot of people have pointed out from different freeze frames is that Jimmy Neutron, there was a point in time where his hair clipped through lockers, and there was a bunch of animation issues that we didn't really notice as a younger audience. But from what a lot of people are saying, and from what I'm hearing from people that actually know animation, there doesn't really seem to be that many problems or really anything too much wrong with the show, with the CG. And to me, that's a huge plus. So with a lot of the stuff that I talked about earlier, with, I guess, the animation and the companies that are working with it, who is this show really for? What audience are they trying to reach out to? Well, obviously they're trying to reach out to a younger audience, younger kids and everything like that. But at the same time, what audiences? What audiences? Well, honestly, in my opinion, I think that they're really trying to reach out to, in some ways, or more ways than one, they're reaching out to the anime community, or the anime community, people who watch anime, because there are a lot of things in the show, specifically, Wikipedia pretty much labels this show as, under the magical girl genre, or one of the subgenres of the show, and it really shows throughout it. So if you're fans of shows like Sailor Moon, Tokyo Mew Mew, maybe even, I guess, to a lesser extent, Madoka Magica, or Card Captor Sakura, really any magical girl show, I really think that you would like this show. There's a lot of different things with transformation sequences that you guys would really, really like. As well, on the other, flip side of that, I think that if you're a fan of a show like Steven Universe or Star Versus, I guess that's the best way to describe it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I've seen some pictures of it. I think that if you're fans of Star Versus and Steven Universe, there are a lot of things that you like about the show, because just like the Miraculous Ladybug, those shows also pull elements from other anime shows, and incorporate different elements into it, and it actually turns out pretty well. So with that being said, I really think you guys would enjoy that aspect of it, especially if you're into anime. You'd really like the show. Another thing I like about the show is the fact that as random as the episodes are, like they're kind of out of order in some ways, they still kind of find a way to make it have some kind of continuity. So even though events may happen out of order and with different episodes, certain events from certain episodes still carry on to another. So character likes another character, a relationship continues from one episode to another because they actually like each other, and it really just shows. And I really like that, because in a lot of different animation shows or shows that are like cartoons and stuff like that, you rarely see those kinds of things, happen. And I really think it's cool that they do that. The other side of that is that I like the fact that they were aware of the characters' insecurities. And instead of it just being like, oh, a constant fear of this or a constant fear of that, Marinette and Adrian and even other characters, you see them really improve throughout the season. They have different aspects of the personality that they were nervous about that actually, gets better as the series goes on. Like, for example, Marinette is kind of a nervous character, a nervous person that really doesn't believe too much in herself, and she lacks a lot of self-confidence. However, when she gains the ability to turn into the Miraculous Ladybug, you see how she's like, yeah, you know what? I have the ability to do this. I have the ability to do that. And even after she turns back into a normal person, you see that, she still carries that kind of self-confidence with herself. She's like, you know what? With or without the suit, I'm still able to be this person. I can still help people. I can still do this. I can still do that. And even with that, I mean, going to Adrian has strict parents, a strict lifestyle. Even though it seems all glamour and glitz on the outside, he's actually like very constrained, very, very, doesn't have too many freedoms. But when he puts on the costume of Cat Noir, you see him have his personality basically cranks from like 1 to 11, just like that. And it really just brings out his inner humor. He can finally feel like he's being free for the first time in his life. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of his character as well. Now, let's talk about the things that I don't like about the show, because I can't just praise the show for being, all the positive stuff. I also have to talk about the negative things. Now, as good as the episodes are and as cool as some of the villains are, that Hot Moth brings into the show, some of the episodes can kind of feel somewhat repetitive, as you constantly see it has a style of a Monster of the Week format, whereas character goes and gets angry, frustrated, Hot Moth comes in, akumatizes them, they become his villain gets defeated, oh, blast you, Miraculous Ladybug, I'll get you next time. There's a lot of cliches in the show. But I guess on the flip side of that, they aren't exactly bad cliches. The cliches don't really make the show what it is. They don't bring it from up here to down here. And in a lot of ways, they're kind of just funny cliches that just add a little bit of flavor, like, okay, and it adds a little bit of charm to the series. But you might get tired of it, of the repetitiveness of that formula. However, I will say this, remember that it's only the first season. It is only the first season of the Miraculous Ladybug, and we still have 2 or 3 more seasons to go, or seasons 2 and 3, because it just got renewed for 2 more seasons. And the formula might change, especially seeing the ending of the first season. Things could change over time, we never know. But even if it doesn't, I still think that the show will stand on its own and that it'll be able to do what it needs to do and actually be decent. So, those are my thoughts on the Miraculous Ladybug, guys. I highly recommend you guys go and check out the show. It has a lot of aspects to it that I really like, that I think any anime fan or any person of the younger audience, even if you're not into anime, I really think that this is a show that you'd really enjoy. It's marketable for kids, and then people like me who are into different things. It would definitely be something that we'd all appreciate. So, with that being said, this is the Anime Blaze signing out, saying never doubt your capabilities, because you never know what you might be able to do. And go and support the show, please do. Thomas Astruck is also on Twitter, and there's also a bunch of different pages for the Miraculous Ladybug if you want to keep in with the know, and just talk with different fans of the show and different things like that, because the community is really, really good. The community is really good. But yeah, that being said, I'll catch you guys later in whatever may be happening that I decide to do later.
Yeah. Come and take a ride and step inside a young inspiring mind. Lyric genius like a snowflake, holding like no other kind. Bold italicized, I'm pro and going for that local grind. After global shine, evolving like the humankind. Moving faster than a speeding bullet, shooting through a riff in time. Music soothing, hella coolin', aloe vera metric rhymes. Flexing metrics exercise, that's my demons exercise. Testing for success, no less, now let me hear you testify. This is my expression of villainy, bring depression to enemies. Teach a lesson, no stressing, investing in my energy. Best to pester an idiot.